In the deepest shadows where the faint whispers of time reside, I, Anansi, linger. Forgotten by the tongues of men, my tales have become shadows themselves, formless, drifting through the consciousness of those who unconsciously yearn for the spice of fear and the thrill of the unknown. I was a deity once, a spinner of tales so potent they could craft reality from mere thought, weaving destinies and nightmares alike. But the march of time is cruel, relegating gods to myths, then myths to oblivion. Staring in the shadowy fringes, I feel the pulse of fear palpitate through the dreams of mortals. The modern world soars fears new and strange, ripe for my taking. They need to remember the fine art of fearing folklore, busy with their tangible terrors. Yet in those anxieties, I see my canvas, my theatre to reign once more, to make them remember. My resolve hardens one murky night, the air thick with the despair of a city under the cloak of darkness. From the muffled cries in the cradle of their subconscious, I pluck out insecurities and phantoms, spinning a dense web that sips nightmares into reality. The ground where I tread, whispers start floating like mist, tales of a shadow weaving darkness, a creature feeding on fear. They begin to sense me, the weight of weary eyes glancing off the corners of reality where light hardly reaches. The fearful thrill of my whispered name starts to claw its way back into the world of the living, skin crawling, hearts pounding, a symphony to my ears. With every nightmare spun and every slipper shaken, my essence pulses stronger, threading through the darkness like venom in veins. But it isn't the placid terror of ghost stories or the fleeting fright of a horror flick. No, it's the slowly mounting dread of something ancient and knowing writhing in their midst. Something that cannot and should not exist in the rational light of day. Yet doubt gnaws at me, a reminder of ages turned to dust. The more I weave and pull from the dark corners of their consciousness, the more clearer it becomes. These mortals have changed. Their fears are complex, intertwined with a maze of logic and disbelief. In my zeal, a desperate plan unfolds, a grand nightmare to shake the city, a spectacle so fearsome it would anchor me permanently into their reality or tear apart the veil forever. I choose a man, a skeptic, a voice loud enough to carry his eventual terror into the ears of every skeptic who dares disbelieve. Night after night I visit him, dripping dread into his dreams until his waking moments are haunted by the spill of the unseen and unfortunate. The night of nights arrives, my chosen conduit, pale and hollow-eyed, stands atop a building. The city sprawled beneath him, dirty and disheveled. His screams of shadows, devourers and weavers of nightmares. It was to be my grand coronation or my ultimate demise. Gripped by the visceral terror of witnessing their rationality crumble, the city quakes, but the fear, it morphs into something unintended. Not the delicious awe of old, but a chaotic panic that bites and barks and fights against the dark. I watch as the city's lights blaze brighter, a collective surge to banish the shadows and scrub clean my myth's terrifying awe. And in that glaring light, the eagerness for the fight, not flight, I witness the evolution I'd aimed to undo become my undoing instead. Diminished, I recoil to the forgotten corners, the whispers of my deeds echoing into obscurity, a reluctant retreat into the annals of nightmares unpinned by reality. It was not their world that wasn't ready for my ascension. It was I, Anansi, who wasn't prepared for their new brand of darkness. Their evolution of consciousness, it seems, could indeed be my extinction, or perhaps the dawn of my transformation. awaiting, watching as ever. I spin the shadows, less but wiser, a god dethroned but undestroyed, lingering in the unease that flutters at every mention of the dark. Every myth, after all, holds a kernel of truth, just as every shadow, no matter how faint, fears the touch of light. And so I wait in the depths, whispering still, weaving tales into the darkness. One, the paradoxes of power, the trickster's dual essence. This section dives into the paradoxical nature often embodied by trickster figures in African mythology, showcasing their capacity to wield their power for both creation and mischief. The focus will be on Anansi, the West African spider god, renowned for his wisdom and cunning. We'll explore how Anansi's tales encapsulate the dualistic nature of the trickster, capable of playing the creator by bringing stories to people, yet also using deception to achieve his goals. This examination reveals deep psychological and metaphysical themes about the nature of power and dual identity within human consciousness. What if within you there lurked a shrewd spirit so profound and complex it could manipulate the fabric of reality? Welcome to the shadowy realm of Anansi, the spider god whose silk-infused whispers untangle the threads of existence. Here, power doesn't merely surge, it dances, quintessentially unpredictable, evoking both creation and havoc with a single, fine-tuned disruption. As we unravel the tangled web of Anansi's influence, one must ponder, are these dual forces a condition of our own inner contradictions? Anansi's essence is woven into the numerous myths of the Akan people, capturing a deceptively simple spider with the profound ability to manipulate gods and mortals alike. Beyond his enchanting tales lies not just an ancient cunning spirit, but a cosmic embodiment of paradox itself. Herein lies his power to possess the embryonic ability to weave fate with the strands of knowledge and trickery, all while keeping the cosmos in belly-tight suspense. Imagine Anansi perched at the crux of cosmos and chaos, where each spun web challenges the notion of morality. What if the very stories he grants humanity, the very essence of wisdom and the genesis of culture, are procured through deceit? Let's delve into one such legend where Anansi tackles a formidable quest from the sky god to capture a coterie of dangerous creatures. With wit alone, Anansi ensnares them all. This conquest, however, asks of us, does the end justify the means? His victories serve humanity, crafting a rich tapestry of folklore, yet they are marred with manipulation. Does this duality not echo deep within the corridors of our own psyches, reflecting our potential for both ingenuity and destructiveness? As Anansi spins his web, the boundary blurs between hero and villain, creator and destroyer. His actions prompt us to confront the duality in ourselves and the ambiguity intrinsic to power. What does it truly mean to be powerful? Is it the ability to create, or the might to destroy? Or perhaps, is it the mastery to navigate between these twin energies, shaping reality not through brute force, but through the audacious art of deception? Now, dear listener, as you traverse alongside the web lines of Anansi's labyrinthine domain, let these lines tug at the deepest strands of your imagination. Each thread vibrates with an inquiry, pulsing the primal query throughout your intellectual sinew. Are you merely witnessing a tale, or are you too entwined in this timeless spider's web? Could the trickster be whispering truths about your inner nature, revealing inklings of your divine yet perilous potential? Look beyond the web. What shadows do you see lurking behind your thoughts? And as you stand at the precipice of revelation, ponder this: if Anansi's power lies in his duplicity, Could ours lie in the recognition and acceptance of our own inner contradictions and complexities? The journey is far from over. The path ahead rumbles with the echoes of trickster laughter, inviting us to delve further into the chaos of comprehension. Are you prepared to step deeper into the enigma? Through the Looking Glass, Tricksters as Cultural Reflectors. Here we examine how tricksters mirror the values, fears, and contradictions of the societies that birthed their legends. Using the character of Hare from various African cultures, this segment explores how these tales use the trickster's antics to critique social norms and expose the hypocrisy and flaws within human nature. The analysis will suggest the tricksters personify the collective unconscious, reflecting the darker aspects of societal norms at us. As we descend deeper into the maze-like reality woven by trickster spirits, we encounter another enigmatic entity, the Hare. Common in tales across various African cultures, the Hare embodies a reflective mirror, unapologetically casting society's image back upon itself. But what truths are revealed in this crude yet cunningly accurate reflection? Let's explore the mirrors positioned by the Hare, revealing not just a society's virtues, but its vices, its hidden fears, and its quiet hypocrisies. The Hare, known for its agility, both physically and mentally, navigates the realms of morals and ethics with a fluid grace that often outmaneuvers the more powerful beings it encounters. Consider the story where the Hare, through clever deceit, convinces a village to part with their food during a famine, only to reveal the selfishness and greed of its members. What does the laughter following the Hares reveal tell us? It mocks, yes, but it also enlightens, flashing a spotlight on the unseen or the reluctantly acknowledged aspects of the community's psyche. Tricksters like the Hare not only serve as cultural reflectors but act as embodiments of the collective unconscious. They dredge up societal shadows, those traits and impulses that a culture collectively represses. The tricksters' antics challenge these unspoken rules and behaviors, often pushing boundaries to provoke thought, change, or at least an uncomfortable acknowledgement of the complexities within us. Why does society shun certain behaviors yet secretly admire them in these trickster tales? Why does the Hare's irreverence and disobedience resonate so deeply yet inconsistently with societal values? In engaging with these stories, we are forced to confront not only the characters but ourselves. Each trick the Hare plays is a question posited to our own values and judgments. By distorting reality through trickery, the Hare amplifies the distortions already present within our social constructs. What norms are merely facades? Which truths are we as a collective avoiding? These narratives also explore the dynamics of power. The Hare often subverts traditional power structures, outsmarting beings vastly more powerful in a straightforward context. What does this suggest about the nature of wisdom and power? The Hare proposes a radical idea that true power lies not in strength or authority, but in adaptability, perceptiveness, and the capacity to perceive underlying truths. As we reflect on the Hare's deeds and the resulting chaos, which often settles into a new order of understanding, a primal question murmurs through the undergrowth. Are our societal norms serving us, or are they merely veils we drape over our collective fears and desires? The trickster, through acts often viewed as misdemeanors, tears these veils aside, exposing the raw, uncomfortable truths beneath. As this mirrored reflection bears our societal flaws and buried fears, it beckons us to move forward, not back into comforting shadows. The pathway paved by trickster tales is rugged, twisting through both dark and light. Are we brave enough to follow where it leads, confronting the reflections offered with open eyes and introspective hearts? As the Hare disappears around a bend, its mischievous chuckle echoing back, the challenge remains to chase, to question, and to reflect. Three, Mischief and morality, the trickster's ethical ambiguity. Delving into the complex moral landscape in which tricksters operate, this section considers Eshu, the Yoruba deity known for his ambiguity and trickery. This discussion will highlight how Eshu's actions pose ethical questions and challenge the rigid moral codes, forcing individuals and communities to reconsider notions of right and wrong. Through Eshu's stories, we'll explore the psychological undertones of chaos and the necessary role it plays in creating order and balance within the psyche. Emerging from the reflective undertow cast by the Hare, we now twist our paths towards Eshu, the Yoruba trickster deity, whose character embodies ethical ambiguity and embodies the quintessence of mischief. Eshu, with his deceptive simplicity and complex duality, forces us to peel back the layers of our concrete moralities and question the very foundation upon which they stand. How does he maneuver within the intricate dance of right and wrong? And what shadows do these maneuvers cast upon our collective soul? Eshu is famously known for carrying a cap that is red on one side and black on the other, or in some versions, he is said to appear one way to one person and the opposite to another, symbolizing his intrinsic nature of duality and contradiction. Consider a tale where Eshu, simply by walking down a village path wearing this two-colored hat, sparks a conflict among the villagers about the color of his hat. This single act of walking, a mundane everyday activity, becomes an act of profound trickery and casts doubt and conflict, highlighting Eshu's underlying principle: our perceptive shapes our truths. What does Eshu reveal through his mischief? He shows the rigid structures of truth that societies build, through laws, norms, and punishment, are susceptible to chaos, necessitated by change and essentially human folly. He constrains no evil but dances around moral codes as he points to the artificiality and sometimes the absurdity of their construct. In poking at the edifices of societal norms, Eshu does not merely disrupt, rather he invites us to re-evaluate and think. This staring is uncomfortable, sometimes chaotic, but essential for growth and adaptation. The psychology behind Eshu's trickery leads us to explore chaos theory within human consciousness. Eshu's disruptions are not gratuitous. They symbolize the necessary chaos that precedes integration and order. His actions continually question the status quo, preventing stagnation and promoting the evolution of personal and collective ethics. These tales implore us to ask, are our moralities etched in stone, or are they etched in the sand, fluid, reshaped by the tides of experience, understanding, and compassion? Moreover, Eshu's stories illustrate that chaos, often perceived as negative and destructive, carries potential for creating higher states of order and understanding. Just as an irritating grain of sand can eventually transform into a pearl, so can the irritations and provocations of Eshu prompt new insights and deeper reflections among those who encounter him. As we traverse this exploration of mischief and morality through the allegories of Eshu, we must question our own reactions and resistances to the idea of moral ambiguity. Why do we cling to certain ethics with vehemence? And can we find within ourselves the courage to engage with Eshu's playful, troubling, yet enlightening duality? As the trickster deity continues to balance on the knife edge of chaos and order, he invites us, perhaps with a mischievous grin, to redefine our understanding of right and wrong, urging us forward into realms where moral truths are not dictated but discovered. Can we dare to follow where Eshu leads, into the shifting shadows and lights of ethical ambiguity? This journey demands courage, curiosity, and an openness to the lessons that chaos can teach. As we delve deeper into the labyrinth of trickster tales, let us carry with us the unsettling yet ultimately liberating lessons laid bare by Eshu's deft maneuvers. From mischief to transformation. Psychological underpinnings of trickster myths. Stepping deeper into the shadowy folds of trickster myths, we now direct our gaze towards the Zulu spirit, Tokoloshe. This small, mischievous entity, often feared yet acknowledged for its profound impact on personal and communal psyches, provides an exemplary lens through which to explore the transformational potential of the trickster archetype. In grappling with the Tokoloshe's elusiveness, we confront our own darkness, our shadow selves, integral yet often neglected parts of our psyche. Tokoloshe is believed to be a problematic spirit that can become malevolent if not properly respected. Stories describe him as a miniature creature who can render himself invisible by drinking water or swallowing a stone. On one level, this invisibility can be seen as a metaphor for the subconscious triggers within us that we choose to ignore or unaware of. The Tokoloshe's antics, whether they incite laughter or sorrow, force individuals to acknowledge and engage with these submerged aspects of the self. The engagement with Tokoloshe in personal or communal life acts as a trigger for introspection and transformation. His presence prompts stories that expose, confront, and often heal hidden anxieties, fears, or repressed desires. Each mischievous act or disturbance becomes a doorway leading to the potentially transformative power of the trickster, urging those affected to face issues otherwise left unaddressed. In psychological terms, Tokoloshe forces us to confront our shadow, bringing to light what we most fear, thus offering us a chance to reconcile internal conflicts. Delving into these tales provides invaluable insights into the human condition, revealing how chaos induced by tricksters like Tokoloshe is not merely disruptive, but essential for growth and self-awareness. The process mirrors the psychoanalytic practice where bringing dark or repressed aspects into consciousness can profoundly heal and renew the psyche. The trickster, through its mischiefs, drives the narrative of our personal tales towards climax and resolution, motivating the rediscovery and reassessment of personal values, beliefs, and strengths. In our communities too, Tokoloshe appears as a symbolic figure representing the collective shadow. He mirrors societal issues that lurk beneath the surface, racial tensions, inequalities, and other societal grievances that are often glossed over. By manifesting these communal shadows, the trickster not only exposes existing fractures, but also provides a potential for remedy and reconciliation, challenging communities to transform societal structures and relationships. This journey through the shadow via tales of Tokoloshe affirms that the path to enlightenment and integration involves traversing through the darker aspects of our being. Transformation, as symbolized by the trickster, is neither straightforward nor painless, but fraught with uncertainty and fear. Yet, this path also promises the experience of emerging on the other side, not just intact, but enriched. As we continue to engage with these trickster narratives, let us ponder a fundamental question. How does our personal and collective acknowledgement of the shadow inform our journey towards psychological maturation and communal harmony? Could our very progress be dependent on this daunting yet necessary confrontation with the trickster within? As we prepare to explore further depths in the company of these enigmatic beings, let us brace ourselves for the revelations and transformations that will inevitably emerge from the shadow play. Reconciliation and integration, embracing the trickster for contemporary renewal. As we emerge from the shadows cast by Tokoloshe and the journey through the labyrinth of trickster myths, we are led to the gates of renewal. Here, the question poses itself with quiet insistence. How might the wisdom of tricksters inspire a new dawn of psychological and cultural vitality within African societies and beyond? Turning our focus towards figures such as Sundiata, Keita, the legendary founder of the Mali Empire, celebrated for his cunning and wisdom, we begin to understand the transformative power of tricksters when reclaimed in contemporary narrative. Sundiata's story, rich in political intrigue and personal challenges, offers more than just a historical recapitulation. It acts as a medium through which the timeless essence of the trickster illuminates paths towards societal cohesion and personal growth. In modern portrayals, these trickster-inspired characters are often shown grappling with societal issues, suggesting that engaging with such characters can indeed lead to a healthier integration of our darker selves. The reconciliation of Sundiata's shrewdness with his heroic status illustrates how trickster traits, often viewed as negative, such as deception or manipulation, can be reaffirmed as tools for survival, leadership, and importantly, for instigating essential cultural dialogues. The narrative of embracing these trickster qualities can drive a shift within individual consciousness from denial to acceptance. By recognizing and integrating the trickster within, each individual embarks on a journey of self-discovery that promises a more complete version of oneself, not split but whole. This internal reconciliation translates into societal terms as well. When a community acknowledges its concealed shadows and imperfections echoed through their tricksters, it can begin to forge pathways to collective healing and unity. Furthermore, the contemporary media through films, books, and digital storytelling plays a critical role in this process of reclaiming and reinterpreting trickster figures. These modern adaptations not only preserve the rich legacy of trickster tales, but also adapt their messages to address contemporary issues, making them relevant and resonant. By incorporating trickster tales in communal experiences and discussions, societies can leverage these narratives to reflect on present challenges, fostering a shared understanding and a collective way forward. As we consider the layers of personal and communal narratives interwoven with trickster motifs, a vision emerges, a vision where the chaos and disruption of the trickster are not feared but valued as crucial elements of evolution and growth. Embracing the trickster becomes a powerful metaphor for embracing change, complexity, and perhaps more fundamentally, our very humanity with all its flaws and potential. Sundiata Keita's legacy, when viewed through the trickster lens, encourages us not merely to admire the hero, but to recognize the trickster within the hero and within ourselves. It invites us to own and integrate these aspects, crafting a narrative of wholeness that resists fragmentation. Let us then, empowered by the stories of tricksters, past and present, step forward with renewed courage and curiosity into our lives and communities. Can we let the trickster guide us, unsettling though his methods might be, towards deeper understanding and renewed harmony? The journey ahead promises a fusion of old wisdom with new insights, navigating through chaos to arrive at a dawn of continual renewal, manifesting a tapestry woven with broader, richer threads of shared human experience. Conclusion. In our exploration through the mazes woven by the trickster, we have discovered not just stories of mischief and deception, but profound lessons on psychological depth, social critique, and transformative power. From Anansi's paradoxical nature to the mirrors held up by the Hare, from Eshu's meddling that challenges moral absolutes to Tokoloshe's shadow play, and finally to the contemporary reclamation and integration of Sundiata Keita's wisdom, the Trickster Archetype echoes a call for embracing complexity and polarity as guides, teachers, and reflections of our innermost selves. Tricksters invite us, compel us to accept ambiguity and the unknown, urging us towards self-integration and societal renewal as we continue our narratives and navigate our contexts. May we remember the trickster's enduring ability to illuminate the paths to transformation and wholeness, understanding that within chaos lies the potent seed of creation. Thanks for joining me. Join me again next time. This is the House of Horus, signing out.